6 months without a grocery store. That is my current challenge to myself. I am just over a month into this, and so far, so good. We've been doing pretty well working through our pantry. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Amanda. I focus on frugal homemaking, budget meals, and right now I have a 6-month challenge to avoid the grocery store and work through my pantry to save as much money as I can because those bills just keep coming. I will also be relying a lot on my vegetable garden and my fruit trees to make sure that we are getting as much fresh produce as possible. So if you're interested in following along, make sure you hit up my playlist. I've got all of my previous update videos there, and I'll have that linked for you right at the end of this video. So this last week, I am so sorry I managed not to videotape any of my meals. Normally I do that for you, but honestly, this week has just been insane. It's been so hot, very, very busy. So we have been having some really low-key dinners. We have eggs and toast. We had pancakes. We had tacos. We had hot dogs. And the one night that I did do a decent dinner, I made homemade hamburgers. So those were our dinners this week. And we were also up at our cabin and we had some meals up there. If you're looking to see that cabin video, check it out on my other channel. I will link it in the description box. It's called Gross Ridge Off Grid. So this week, despite the kind of very low-key week with us not doing a lot of food prep, I did happen to run out of my first couple of items. So my first one is something that I do have every single day. Now, I don't drink coffee. I went off coffee in December when I landed myself in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 5 days, NPO, so no food or drink. And the caffeine withdrawal that I had, and I only ever had 1 cup of coffee a day, maybe 2 on an odd occasion. The caffeine withdrawal that I had being in the hospital for something entirely different. I was so sick, so miserable, the worst migraine I have ever had. And I vowed to myself after that I would never be addicted to caffeine again because I do not ever want to go through that experience again, having to be in the hospital for something unrelated, but on pain medications because I'm not having coffee. So I now drink tea. And I love a good chai tea. That's what I've been drinking every morning. I have my favorite tea and I ran out of it. So I no longer have that tea. I will show you what I do have. So over the years, I have had quite an obsession with teas. I like ordering different teas, but I don't always drink them. So I've got like dandelion root tea here, a vanilla one, got this detox tea, another vanilla one. What's this one? Gingerbread, apple crisp. I think this one's another, oh yeah, deep cleanse, and a couple of nettle teas here. So it's not like I'm going without tea. It just means that I'm going to work through what I've got here. On top of that, I also have some herb mixtures here. Right back here is chamomile. This is echinacea. I've got yarrow. I also have Tulsi growing in my backyard. I've also got New Jersey tea growing in my front yard, so I'm not out of options. I have had a decent strawberry harvest this spring. However, it is right at the very end. So unfortunately, we are kind of at the end of our strawberries, but that's okay because we have cherries galore. So I just finished picking from our cherry trees. There was actually much, much more on those cherry trees, but if you've ever grown cherries, you know that it is a constant battle with the wildlife over who's going to get those cherries. Last year, we didn't even get any, so we were like on it this year. We had actually picked these a little bit too early, but the squirrels were out there and the birds were out there and they were making a go of it. So I will be preserving these this week as well as saving some for fresh eating. We're just going to interrupt this video for a second to admire this chunky little puppy. My goodness. A lot of you wanted her to be named Berry, so I think that's what we might stick with. She is a cutie, cutie little bear. As for the garden, we've been harvesting a lot of hascaps lately. We were doing that earlier in the spring, and then we've just had another couple of bushes, a different variety, ripen. So we've been enjoying these quite a bit. And then I'll give you just a little tour of our garden and tell you what's ripening and what we can harvest right now. The garden is finally starting to come around a bit. I've had to replant some of this 4 times, which is just incredible to me. But we are harvesting some lettuce right now, as well as some kale. See this kale? It's the one thing that's doing really, really well. So we are harvesting this for salads. Here's our beans. They have been struggling this spring. I've replanted them twice, and I'm actually, if you can see this bare area right there, I will be planting some more there because it's just been quite the struggle for our beans to grow, which is unfortunate because we absolutely adore beans. This is my son's garden. It's doing really well. His carrots, he's got some pumpkin there, some corn. The tomatoes are all doing really, really well. Very happy with that. And then down here, we planted some turnip and some more tomatoes. His peas are doing okay, but honestly, by this point, peas would normally be done with because it's gotten so hot. But the peas were just, everything was so slow that unfortunately, I'm not sure we're going to get much out of these. There's our peaches coming around. So hopefully, again, we can beat the squirrels to these because they love to pick them when they're big, but not even close to ripe. They chew on them a little bit and then throw them on the ground. So it's not even like they eat them. Just like this guy right here. This is what they do. And you can see my ground is littered with peaches, those little stinkers. Here we've got our grapes. Hopefully you can see those. They're coming around. These ones are Concord, but I also have pink grapes and green seedless. Again, the tomatoes are gigantic, so I'm really hoping they do well. We have blight in our soil, so some of these are blight-resistant tomatoes and some of them are not. So we'll see how they do. I'm trying growing pumpkins in bags this year, and it's doing really well. I'm so happy with it because they're doing way better than the ones that I've put in the ground. So I think that I'll get a decent harvest off of these and see what the ground produces. And then all of our containers are doing really well. Everything here is thriving. I just put a comfrey mix on them, so a comfrey tea on them, so help them grow nice and big and hopefully produce for us. These beans here are doing really well. And this is the fruit that we will be harvesting next. They are black cap raspberries, and they are so good, so delicious. So these will be what ripen now, and shortly after that, it'll be regular raspberries. And as for the vegetable garden, it's kind of regular salads for us until those beans come around, and maybe peas. So as for that second item I ran out of, it's vanilla. That's one thing I didn't even think to stock up on. So I had like a good sized bottle of it, but it is all gone now. And I do a lot of baking. If you followed my channel, you'll know that. I bake quite often, at least once a week, and I do stuff with vanilla in it. Now, I have baked a couple times this week, and I've not used vanilla in there, and it's turned out just fine. So I think moving forward, I'm just going to not use vanilla and see what happens. I could make my own, but that would involve ordering vanilla beans in because I don't have them anywhere in town, and having to go and buy some alcohol, which I don't want to do because I honestly never buy alcohol. So it's just not something I'm really wanting to do. So I think just for now, we're going to forego the vanilla and see what happens. Even tonight, I am baking a cake for my mother. It is her 73rd birthday, and I'm doing a nice strawberry shortcake for her with some of our fresh strawberries just to use them up because they do need to be used up. Now, sometimes during this challenge, I've realized if I'm going to do stuff like this, I'm also going to have to get creative. So that means maybe borrowing some items that I don't have or asking for a loan for those items from other people. So like cream cheese or sour cream or whipped cream or things like that where I'm not going to the store to buy them, then I can maybe ask a close friend or relative to loan me those ingredients for the meantime and pay them back later. And I find that nice where it's not maybe I'm paying them back monetarily, but maybe they come to me and they're like, hey, I need this ingredient, or hey, could I have a couple pints of strawberries or cherries or things like that? And I just love that friend economy where it's always a gift, or a bartering economy or things like that, where it's kind of a give and take of things, but it's not monetary. So I don't mind nourishing friendships like that, or relationships like that, where it's a give and take of items that you have, and it's kind of a gift of certain foods or things like that. I love that, and I think that's really good for community. So other than that, it's just a lot of salads. Again, I have like canned beans and a lot of canned goods and frozen veg still and things like that to go through as well. So, but from the garden, it's mainly just salads. We love our salads, especially on the hot days of summer, which we are in right now. So nice, cool, crisp salad just hits really nicely. And that is my 6-week update for how we're doing life without the grocery store, and how we are planning on continuing on, and kind of what I'm running out of as we go along. So now that's our first 2 things that I've run out of. Again, if you're interested in following this journey, I'm going to link this playlist right here. Make sure you check out all those previous videos to see what this challenge is all about and how I've been doing up until now. Thanks for being with me today, guys. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time.